So let me actually, I never launched this game because I had almost forgotten to download it, but I did download it. So we get the title changed up. Uh, Changed up. Let me now launch this and then get it tied into OBS. Um, what are you doing? What do you mean I need to install a codec? Okay, sure. So, right. Can you install? Oh, okay. Are we playing in a window? Are we? Okay. Uh-oh, this is going to be loud. Facebook codec spy installed. System save data. Don't you dare like okay, give me a moment. Before I hit continue, because I don't know if there's gonna be an intro video. Main game is no longer chicory. Name. No. Go. Actually, rename it, please. It's all right. I'm probably gonna resize this in the options once I can, but we'll start with that. Game supports an autosave. Yep. There we go. Options. Oh my god, can I turn this down? Oh, there's two options. Yes and no. I hate that so much. Give me a moment. That is loud as heck. Okay, I think that's good. Go with that. Borderless. Maybe. Go. Now I need to go here. Second. Transform. Ah, there we go. Now we need a different background for this. Will be the gear cloth. There we go. All right. Isn't special content. We'll glance at that real quick. Oh, accolades, gallery, auditorium, Taylor. Alternative. This one made suit. Oh. You know, I need that right there. Sherlock Sholmes Japanese jumble mix, but no. No, you gotta stay with that. Homemade dress. I'll stick with that. Okay. Adventure time. New game.
The Empire of Japan. After opening its doors, a push for cultural transformation brought great waves of Western influence to this far eastern island nation. The revolution washed over the land, making life in the capital exciting and unsettling. It was a period of great change, and some was swept away by the tide.
Oh.
But for one man, the turbulence of that era was just the beginning of an extraordinary story.
Well. There's a start. Adventure of the Great Departure. November, 8:43 a.m. Supreme Court of the Judicature, Defendant's Antechamber 5. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe this is happening. How can it be that just beyond the doors to this quiet little chamber is the highest court in Japan, waiting to decide my fate? What? Oh, no, nothing. Save your glares, murderer. Sorry. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm a second-year student at the Imperial Yume University. 3 days ago, I somehow found myself in the middle of a horrifying incident. And now, here I am, awaiting my trial. That's enough. That's enough. He's not obliged to listen to abuse, officer. You're you. I'm this man's lawyer. I'll be defending him today. Lawyer? Yes, and until the judge has given his verdict on the case, no one has the right to treat him as a criminal. So you will hold your tongue. Just technicalities. Look at you. You haven't even graduated yet. And yet, I still seem to know better than you how a court officer should behave. Right. Ryunosuke? Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. So this would be Son of Dragon. Suke is Son or Heir, right? Son of Dragon. It's something like that. What are you apologizing to me for? Oh, no, I suppose that wasn't my fault. But really, Kazuma, I never meant to drag you into this. I'm sorry. There you go again, apologizing. Just like I always... Though I must say, you've been all over the newspapers these past few days. Yume University professor murdered in cold blood by student. But obviously, you didn't actually do it, did you? Of course not. You have to believe me. I didn't do it. I could never murder someone. Then there's nothing to worry about. Straighten yourself up. Hold your head high. You mean... I believe you. I know you're innocent, Ryunosuke. Darius! Hey Darius, how you doing? Kazuma Asogi, my best friend. Also, in his second year at Yume University. But he's far more clever than I, a star student in fact. He's even a qualified lawyer. Impressive considering he's still an undergraduate. It's not that impressive. The very concept of lawyers is only a few years old. Here in Japan, anyway. I'm doing okay. How are you doing, Darius? I would assume it's Ryunosuke. Yeah, I keep shortening the no part of it off. So I do Ryunosuke. When it should be a little more elongated, and I keep forgetting that because God, what character is that? Ryunosuke. I think from a Persona game. Or something similar. That's the name that's sticking in my brain for some reason. I don't know. My qualifications don't mean much. Yet. You said exactly the same thing 3 days ago. But I'm proud to have a friend like you, Kazuma. Truly. 3 days ago. Yes, that's when all this started. Only knew Ryu because of Breath of Fire and Street Fighter, yeah. And no, because Japanese always tells me. Congratulations, Kazuma. It looks like you're going to get to study abroad at last. I know. I've been forever dreaming of this day. Finally, those government elites have acknowledged my academic achievements and successes in court. So you'll be representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world. I'm really happy for you, and proud as your friend. There's not a soul in the university who doesn't know Kazuma's name. He's a living legend. It's like there's some mysterious aura billowing around his temple. I want to bring about change in our own legal system. That's why I have to cross the ocean to see the real thing with my own eyes. The heart of the British Empire. I wish I could see it too. Do the bandanas mean something? I'm gonna guess it's like it might be some kind of school college thingy for them. I don't know. Or it's just a fashion style for him. Maybe it gets explained or not, I'm not sure. Then come with me. We'd have a wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's City of London together. If only it were that simple. Oh dear, look at the time. I'd better get going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a while longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow, then, partner. It was straight after that. That's when it happened. Asogi, may I have a word? Wait, which one of them said it? Professor, I didn't know you were coming. Well, this case has personal significance to me. But never mind that for now. Asogi, you should go immediately to the judge's chambers. To His Excellency's chambers? Why? He was looking for you before. You advocating for the defense in this trial was a sudden decision. It seems there may be some confusion about procedures today as a result. Who is this man? I feel as though I've seen him at university before. I see. I'll go at once then. I shall accompany you. Alright then, Ryunosuke. Ryunosuke. I'll see you in the courtroom. Yes, thanks, Kazuma. ... This is awkward. If I may... yes, sorry? You must be the defendant. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe? Yes, that's right. My name is Yujin Mikotoba. I'm a professor... I keep forgetting the voices I'm doing. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at Yume University. Professor Mikotoba. I've heard that name from Kazuma before. As I recall, he's been pushing to get the government to agree to Kazuma studying abroad. Asogi has told me about you. You and he are best friends, I understand. As such, I feel you should know. Know what? Well, as you've no doubt heard, Asogi has been granted permission to go and study in Great Britain. However, if he should fail to defend you in today's trial, I'm afraid that permission will be revoked and never granted again. What? Ah, as I suspected, you were unaware of this. I had a feeling Asogi may have chosen not to tell you. He's agreed to defend me, knowing that if he fails, his dreams will be shattered? But I don't understand. Why would the government do such a thing? The administration has to choose from a large number of applicants for overseas study. It's very difficult to persuade them to grant permission, even in the most favorable of circumstances. I don't believe it. So failing this trial is important for the shutting of Japan. Don't win this case, you'll change the course of history. But I didn't do it, I swear it. I'm not a murderer. I'm sure that's true. Nevertheless, I can assure you that proving your innocence will be no easy task. You see, there are certain peculiarities about today's trial. Sorry? What do you mean? You'll soon understand once proceedings get underway. But then what should I do? Well, naturally, I'm not going to suggest doing anything that could lead to a conviction. Right, so as soon as the trial starts, the judge will pose a certain question to the defense. When that happens, you must answer before anyone else. You must say, I do. I do? But what will the question be? Surely not, do you accept the accusations brought before you? Of course not. Defendant. Court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. Ah, it would seem our surreptitious discussions are to be cut short. So allow me to summarize. Kazuma Asogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Oh, that's what the question's gonna be, okay. Of course, as the defendant, the final decision is yours. What are you waiting for? Do you want to be found guilty for failing to appear? Get moving, there's no point in anyone advocating for the likes of you anyway. This is it. This trial goes badly, Kazuma's dreams of studying abroad are over. And what's more, I'll be found guilty of murder. And so, with absolutely no idea of what lay ahead, I embarked on that unforgettable trial. My one and only chance of proving my innocence, the trial that would decide my destiny. (22nd of November, 9 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom 2. Oh god. He's a little freaked out right now. Look at that. So this is a courtroom. Merry Christmas. The Supreme Court of Judicature. No court in the land has more power. I don't much like the look of those people sitting in the public gallery. Lots of military and other uniforms in there. The powers that be have demanded that this be a secret trial. A secret trial? A trial that's closed to ordinary members of the public. Only military and government officials may attend. What? But why? It'll become clear in time. But for now, you need to concentrate, Ryunosuke. It's about to begin. Oh, jeez. The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. The prosecution is ready, Your Excellency. As is the defense. Before we begin, there is one point of order I would like to confirm. Yesterday evening, the defense made a last-minute request for a change of advocate. That's correct, Your Excellency. I made the request myself. Normal procedure is for the defendant's advocacy to be decided 2 days prior to trial. As this is an unusual circumstance, I am obliged to ask for final confirmation now. Who advocates for the defendant in this trial? Oh no. This must be the question. Who's going to defend me? That's the question the professor meant. But then, if I say I do... Oh, I need to answer quickly. What should I do? Fuck it, we'll do it. Your Excellency, no confirmation is needed. As I'm standing here before the defendant, I hope it's clear who will advocate for his defense. The eyes just flicking all over the place. What is the meaning of this unruly outburst? I would like to inform the court that I, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, will be defending myself. You'll be... what? What are you playing at, Ryunosuke? Professor Mikotoba told me everything. Just now, before the trial, he did what? He said that your dream of studying abroad would be dashed if you were to lose. How sad. It means you don't have faith in me. You think I won't be able to get you off. No, it's not that, really. It's just that, well, on the off chance that things don't go well for me, I couldn't bear to be the reason that you... Yes, I knew that's how you'd feel, which is exactly why I decided not to tell you. Professor Mikotoba shouldn't have stuck his nose in. Very well. The court hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial. Well. Does the accused admit defeat already? Renouncing his own counsel, really?
Objection!
Make no mistake, counsel. This merely shows that the defendant's innocence is so apparent, he's confident that he can speak for himself. Isn't that so, Naruhodo-san? Huh? Oh, yes, exactly. Exactly what I wasn't thinking. I'm not confident at all. In fact, my mind's a complete blank. I realize you're in charge now, but still, try not to look so bewildered. Well, for a mere university student to be brought before the Supreme Court, you must have perpetrated a most heinous crime indeed. As you are no doubt aware, this is the Supreme Court of the Judicature of Japan. Accordingly, the very highest standards of conduct are expected of all present. Do I make myself clear, Defendant Naruhodo? Didn't he already know what he did? Yes, Your Excellency. It is therefore my duty to assess your competence for the task you have undertaken. My competence? What does that mean? He's questioning your ability to do the job. Well, he can't be questioning it more than I am. So, let's start with the very simplest of questions. Yes. Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. Well, that's easy enough. I've heard his name more times than I'd care to remember. But, wait. I'm so nervous I can't even remember that. What was it again? Ryunosuke. Let me guess. Your mind's gone blank? You know me so well. All the relevant information for this case can be found in the court record. But I can't even find that. It's simple. You can access the court record with a press of E. If you ever find you've forgotten something, just consult that. It's all in there. I just have to press E for the court record? Alright, there's no time to lose. This is a list of evidence you collected. Now try switching to people instead with E. It was sushi. You'll find details about the victim in here. When you're done, just press Z to go back. So remember, everything to do with the current case can be found in the court record. Post-mortem report. Death occurred a little after 2 p.m. was caused by loss of blood from a gunshot to the chest. Bullet did not pass through the victim's body. John H. Wilson, the victim of this case. He was visiting professor of medicine at UMaine University for the British Empire. Alright. Now, you better not keep His Excellency waiting any longer. Go on. Find the victim in the people section of the court record, then press R to present. Try it now.
Yes!
Ah, okay. The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. Well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university. Dr. Wilson was a visiting professor from England invited to UMaine University 3 years ago. Indeed, which is the reason why this case has such profound implications. The British Empire is at present our country's most valuable foreign ally. And as most of you will be aware, we have just signed a new treaty together after lengthy negotiations. There can't be anyone who hasn't heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation. And yet, despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of an Englishman has been spilt on our soil. You two are both undergraduates at the Imperial UMaine University, are you not? Murdering a professor from the very institution that provides your education. Have you no honor? But I didn't do it. This case is coming under great scrutiny from our allies on the other side of the world. The court therefore wishes for a speedy resolution to this matter. In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers. And you're a convenient and expendable scapegoat to blame for this crime. So that's why the trial has these unusual peculiarities, is it? Exactly. Our government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman. Yes, Dr. Wilson was an Englishman. But nationalities and treaties won't make any difference for me here. The fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime. Oh dear, look at the time. I'd better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. The British Empire. Wow, it's incredible to think. Wait. I've seen that man at university. I'm sure he's a visiting professor from Great Britain. I don't know his name, but still, I should go and say hello. So I went over to the professor's table and introduced myself to Dr. Wilson. Now then, let me pose my next question to you, Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. How did this professor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson, lose his life? State before the court the cause of death. The cause of death. Well, obviously, that was, Ryunosuke. Remember that in court, every assertion must be backed up by evidence. By evidence? But how? Find the piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death and select present. Do it now.
Yes!
Well, according to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to gunshot trauma. Learn to read, you imbecile. That's the post-mortem report, I take it. Yeah, this is basically the next game in the series. Since Phoenix and Ace's stories are done. This is the next game. Wait. I think this is either the next game or it's a remake of some earlier games. Or ones that never made it to the US. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, Pain is right there. He even has some hair. Sorry, yes, that's right. The post-mortem report. In the West, a doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way. Oh, I see. As long as I'm not going to be tested on any of this later. This is a so-called photographic print of the scene of a crime. You can clearly discern scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by the powder explosion. In other words, we should assume that the victim was shot at close range. Thank you, counsel. The court will accept this modern scientific evidence into the record. The photographic print of the victim has been entered into the court record. So that's a photographic print. Well, that's something I've never seen before. It's clearly superior to a drawing. The detail is incredible. Very well. I am satisfied with your answers. Let us start the trial. Certainly, Your Excellency. So, without further ado, in order to better apprise the court with the facts of the case, the prosecution hereby calls its first witness, who was there at the scene of the crime when it happened. This is it then. I think I may have worked out what the professor had in mind. The professor? You mean Dr. Mikotova? Yes, clearly you're the defense lawyer today, not me. But that doesn't mean... Well, I can still act as your assistant. Ah, of course. When he was speaking with me before, he simply said, Kazuma Asugi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. He really has been sticking his oar in, hasn't he? Maybe, but any help you can give me would be greatly appreciated, Kazuma. Well, my first piece of advice is, rein in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats. Only if you rein in that crazy headband and control the cold stares first. Oh. Witness, state your name and occupation and for the court, please. Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. I am the head waiter at a Western-style restaurant called La Carnival. Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up, some... It's a regular occurrence. It really doesn't bother me. Well, it really should. As everyone knows, the capital's southeastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some time ago. It's become a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. This grim crime occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurants, an Occidental eatery, 3 days ago. Understood. Hosonaga-san, you will kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident. At once, sir. And no petty interjections from the aspiring lawyer boy, please. Oh, perspiring maybe, but aspiring? It was just after 2 p.m. on the day in question. We have few diners at that time of day. The lunchtime rush was over, and there were only 3 tables still occupied. That fits in with my memory of it, too. There was hardly anyone in the place. It was when I was in the kitchen, putting away crockery and cutlery. A gunshot rang out, so I hurried out to the dining area to see what had happened. As my voice constantly changes. I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair. And standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was the accused university student.
Yes!
Hold on, let me just clarify something here. While I did pick up a gun that I found lying on the floor beside the professor, I didn't shoot him.
Objection!
I believe I asked you to refrain from petty interjections. The court wishes to listen to the witness's report of what he saw, you amateur. But the next time you interrupt at an inappropriate time, you will be penalized, Defendant Naruhodo. Don't worry, Ryunosuke. You'll have your chance to fight back. For now, we must just quietly listen to the witness. If I may confirm one point, waiter. Standing beside the victim with a gun in his hand was the same man we see here in court today? Yes, without a question. I see. And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim? No. There was no one else around the table but the deceased Englishman, the university student. Huh? Wait, what did he just say? There was no one else around that table. What's the matter, Ryunosuke? That's just not right. When I went over to Dr. Wilson to say hello, there was a woman sitting up opposite him at his table. Really? And that's not something the waiter could have missed. I've been warned about interjecting, but still, what should I do? Wonder what the penalty is. We're interjecting. No. Let's wait and see. Desperately want to say something, but I was told not to interject. Ryunosuke, if your parents tell you to study, you're the kind of man who would diligently get to work, aren't you? I suppose I am. I'd never got into Yume University otherwise. But you can't just always follow the rules in life, you know. If you don't say what you want to say right now, you'll seriously regret it when you're found guilty. Alright, you scared me. I won't forget that piece of advice in a hurry. And there is something I want to say. I'm just going to shut my eyes and say it.
Yes!
Just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the same table.
Objection!
Dear me. What are we going to do with you? With your blatant disregard for court proceedings, I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud. Could it be that the accused, this mere student, is not a real lawyer after all? But I'm sure of what I saw. Hosonaga-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of events is hazy? No. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone. I don't believe it. I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Please, have a look if you'd like to. Let me see. Ah, a sketch of the establishment's layout drawn by yourself, I presume? That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. Well, you're clearly a very conscientious waiter. Thank you, sir. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well. Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Of course. Here you are. What was that about? He's been completely calm and collected until now. He is freaking here. Yeah. Something certainly seems to have shaken him. The waiter's business card has been entered into the court record. So, the court has now heard a precis of the case. Yes, at the moment the gunshot was heard in the restaurant, the only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. It would seem we are looking at a black and white case here. Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency? If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully upon you. In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment. I called this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court. But I must warn the defense if you are determined to pursue matters further in this trial. The prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses who were present at the scene of the crime. What do you think I should do, Kazuma? What do you mean? Well, I'm going to be found guilty on one way or another, it seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? Everyone keeps telling me that this trial is unusual, about these peculiarities. You've said it, Professor Mikotoba said it, and so has the judge and the prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing now to throw that trust back in my face? Is that it? What? If the accused is in fact innocent, then the defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. Are you just going to abandon that duty? Are you going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Ryunosuke. The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. Then we'll see just how decisive this evidence really is. Indeed. Prosecutor Ayuchi, please continue with proceedings. Sis, well, you were warned. The young can be so reckless. You know, many call me a saint, but I can be a devil when I want to be. In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced forever. The prosecution calls its next witnesses. Very well. Officer, bring forth the witnesses at once. Oh god, these two. Witnesses, kindly state your names and occupations for the court. Yes, sir. The Great Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Iesa Nosa, reporting for duty, sir. Myself, I find employ as a purveyor of fine articles of antiquity from the efflorescence of our nation, Nippon, and conduct my trade from Rasute, a humble premises in the 2nd District, Irio Kurikuta, at your service. An antique dealer and a soldier. What an unusual pairing. Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question. They must be the diners at the other table that the waiter mentioned. Myself, I already forgot his frickin' voice I chose from. Myself, I habitually take tea of the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question, always post-noon. And, not infrequently, converse with the interested parties regarding the curios which I make my business. I can't understand a word that old man is saying. He's an antique dealer, and it sounds like he's a regular at La Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in antiques and tries to sell his wares to them. He obviously targets La Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with rich clientele. Right, I see. Although, to be honest, that sergeant looks more like he'd be a seller rather than a buyer. Now, you both witnessed the precise moment of this most atrocious incident. Is that correct? Affirmative. The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as an act of war, sir! It was that black uniformed rogue infantryman over there who unloaded his firearms, sir! This man's as impossible to understand as the other. But I'm almost sure I heard a strange noise during that last thing he said. Yeah, I thought that was a random sound from my computer, what the heck? So, this is the decisive evidence the prosecution is threatening. The soldier is claiming that he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead. Yeah. Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable? If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start. Now, the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You will state everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred. Yes, sir, yes, sir. Standing... The fuck was that? What the hell was that sound? Sir, yes, sir. Standing by, ready to report, sir. Unsavory memories of a most acerbic afternoon. You mean, does a guy have a baby in the home? What the witnesses saw. I was ingesting a regulation beefsteak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman. At the precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's action. The hell is that? I mean, it's each time he slams his fist down. Ah. Oh, got a pie on my head. The only thing we've been getting is pies with that. There is something else that falls on my head, but why is it always a pie right now? Anyways, I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back with the cowardly little weasel. Wait a second. I was on my hands and knees investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious curio. Well, so you, Sergeant Nosa, actually witnessed the vital moment. You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim. Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. That wicked university cadet, sir. The cruel and unforgivable enemy. He's got a knife now. Why does he have a knife now? What times are these we live in, when an English gentleman may be assailed in the broad light of day? But this is ridiculous. I didn't shoot anyone. That's the dude who just allowed a knife up at the stand. Oh. Is that really true, Ryunosuke? Yes, all I did was pick up the gun that I saw lying on the floor. After I'd said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat drinking some coffee. Then, when I'd finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant, when I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it. So I bent down, and just as I was picking it up, bang. Well, if that's the truth, there was obviously a criminal on the scene somewhere. And somewhere in those two witnesses' testimonies, there's a clue as to who that criminal was. There is? Ryunosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witnesses. Cross-examine? Do it now. As we have heard, Your Excellency, there is no room for doubt in the testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. Figured out the baby did. It's time to bring this despicable student to justice. Certainly, the testimony the court has just heard eliminates any vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of this charge. What in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst? I mean, the defense demands its right to cross-examination. Dear me. Let me guess. The Hachimaki headband boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic. Huh? How did he know? The prosecution objects. This is a clear waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How can he possibly carry out a cross-examination?
Objection!
The defense is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Whether or not you think he's capable of it is irrelevant. Because it was so commanding. Very well. Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witnesses. Alright, this is where the battle really begins, Ryunosuke. But I don't even know what I have to do in a cross-examination. Isn't it obvious? You just have to expose the lies in the witnesses' statements. How? You didn't fire the gun, which means that the soldier had said what the soldier said has to be a lie. Well, yes, but it's just a case of proving it. And the key to doing that is evidence. Right, evidence. All you need to do is present some evidence and indisputable evidence, some decisive and indisputable evidence that proves the witness is lying. Now let's go, Ryunosuke. Don't let them beat you. Quite weak little slaps compared to Kazuma's boom. All right, it's all or nothing. Hopefully he gets upgrades to that as the game goes. All right. So what else is saw? See, he was ingesting a beefsteak. Self was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio. That precise moment the firearm was discharged, I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. Black uniform versus prior nation. From the back. Here we go. So we'll press. So this black uniform don't press that. You're saying that was... I've had just about enough of your sauce, cadet. Who else do you see around here in black uniform, Well, there's someone standing right next to me who fits the description as well, but... It was you, you little weasel! You unloaded the firearm on that man. From behind his back. You call yourself a citizen of the Great Empire. Great Empire of Nippon. You disgust me. Oh, come on, let me... I have to do it at a specific time, okay. What is it, Ryunosuke? I'm not quite sure. It's something that the sergeant just said, but I can't put my finger on it. Something's playing on my mind. In that case, check back over the details of the evidence you've gathered in the court record. And if you find an inconsistency there with what the witness just said, then don't hold back. Present the evidence to the court. Thrust it in the witness's face and make them choke on it. Oh, achievement, Prime Presser. Oh, what I always hate is I can't go back. So I have to cycle through things. No idea what I'm supposed to do here. No, there are lies lurking in these statements. Time to expose them. I understand that. The question is, how? Like I said before, the key to this is using evidence that you've collected. You can examine and present evidence while a witness is giving testimony by pressing E. Go through each witness statement and the details about each piece of evidence, and compare all the facts. Somewhere in there, you'll find something that doesn't add up. In other words, an inconsistency. An inconsistency. When you find a statement and a piece of evidence that seem to contradict each other, present your evidence with R and rip the witness apart. Just be careful, because if you assert a contradiction that has no basis, you'll be given a penalty. If you're dealt too many penalties, the defense's case will fall apart, and you'll receive a guilty verdict. So that's it. Peruse the evidence in the court record and find an inconsistency with a witness statement. Alright, I'll give it a try. You can hear the witness's statement over and over again as many times as you like. So keep your head and be measured in your attack. Good luck, partner. The ingesting the regulation beef steak, sowing the virtues, was here. From the back. So we want to present. Post-mortem report.
Yes!
Oh, God. Just the hand raised. Student's hand raised. The old guy's just laughing. There's like giggling there. What are you playing at, cadet? What is the meaning of this subordination? Thrusting a wad of papers in my mustache. Inconsistency, sir. I mean, yes. Oh, the fucking slap. There's a clear inconsistency here. What nonsense. What can this document possibly tell us that we don't already know? Well, obviously, that, I know what I want to say, but the words just won't come out of my mouth. I think this proves beyond any doubt, Your Excellency, that there is no place for an amateur student here in this grand courtroom. This is so frustrating. Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require an explanation. It couldn't be more plain. To spell it out would be an insult to the court. Kazuma, what are you talking about? It is apparent from a single glance at the postmortem report presented by the defense that there's a clear discrepancy here with the sergeant's statement. What? Sergeant Aisa Nosa. Yes, sir. What, sir? That statement you just made was this. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. I witnessed the crime with my own military-grade eyes, sir.
Yes!
But no, that just can't be. And why not, cadet? Because, as is clearly stated in the post-mortem report, fatal hemorrhage from pectoral ballistic trauma. No exit wound. Bullet did not pass through the body. The photographic print of the victim clearly shows the same thing. The victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet wound to the chest. Sergeant, according to your witness statement, the culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is the obvious discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain it? But wait! Wait, why am I in this box? Hey. Let me out. Please? I'm in a court... Oh, there we go. I'm in a courtroom. Don't put a box on me. And throwing things at me. God dang it. Can't throw it out of the box, yeah. What was that? Something just popped up from behind his back, but he pushed it down again. Certainly, there is a clear discrepancy with the facts here. Would you not agree, Sergeant Nosa? Yes, sir. At this juncture, that would appear to be indisputable. Until the moment I heard the firearm discharge, my eyes were firmly fixed on the delicious La Carnival steak, sir. What? The last testimony the court heard has proven one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness, Sergeant Ryunosuke, did not see the defendant firing a gun at all. That's absurd. I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. There is no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom. Fucking child, what the fuck? There's been a complete turnabout in the mood of this trial, just from that one discrepancy. the rotating of the body. So this is what being an ace attorney is all about. But I definitely saw him. That university kid there, he was pointing the firearm directly at the victim's back.
Yes!
Oh, wrong voice. But I never fired the gun. All I did was pick it up off the floor. And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot either? Myself, I've already been quite clear. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing? Hunting for treasure. Treasure? Indeed. The Hoe Era Koban, my prized coin. On each occasion when I visit that restaurant, it is my habitude to place in my bosom pocket a particular trinket of interest from my shop, Ryunosuke. In the hope of meeting a rich diner who might like to buy it from you? On the day under scrutiny, it was to the military man that I proffered my Hoe treasure. I believed that he would purchase such a rare find. I did not, but I was presented with little alternative. And then, after averting my eyes for the briefest of moments, it was there no more. It simply vanished. The Koban vanished? Hunting around under the table, I was, in case mayhap it had fallen there, and then it happened. The gunshot. I'll date it, yeah. You heard the gunshot, you mean? Indeed I did. But I heeded it not, for I was concerned only with finding my absconded Hoe treasure. Nothing could distract me. Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end? No. I see. That lamentable day, that precious Hoe Koban was lost to me. No doubt some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prize coin for himself. As I am sure everyone present is aware, this case demands a swift and decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Nevertheless, the witness testimony the court has just heard was inconclusive. No matter how subservient our government feels it must be to the British, it would be unforgivable to deliver a verdict on this trial right now. What is your position, Prosecutor Auchi? Worry not, Your Excellency. The defendant may have fled a tiger at the front gate, but he will find a wolf at the back. My witnesses have further testimony to make. Explain. Upon hearing their next statements, it will become abundantly clear that there is only one person who could have possibly committed this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. What? He really seems to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he? Very well. The court invites the witnesses to testify again. You will thoroughly explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegation. Is that clear? As clear as Kiriko glass, Your Excellency. I need to change his voice because it was too close to Yes, sir. At once, sir. Awaiting signal to testify, sir. God damn it, that baby. Excuse me, but there's something or someone peeking out over your shoulder, I think. Affirmative. The newest member of the Nosa family to rise up through the ranks, sir. Name, Aido. It would seem those straps are a sign of the sergeant being too strapped to afford a nanny. Aido. Attention! Your father is about to quell the enemy. Watch and learn, my boy. Oh, thank you for the follow. SJD Bowser. The true culprit. Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing. Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man he was, that young lad in black. That much I myself did see. Boop, boop. Thanks for the boop. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. Indeed. Alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself. Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. Over and out. Also looking for one heck of a first case. Yeah, this first case is already great. Wait, that's nonsense. The victim, Dr. Wilson, wasn't alone at all. Please, enough of these outbursts already. But there was a woman. There was a young woman at his table. You must have seen her. Everyone must have seen her.
Objection!
If you call yourself a lawyer, then you will respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly. We're not here to listen to your fantasies. It is evident beyond all reasonable doubt that the victim was alone at the time of the incident. The prosecution has photographic evidence of this fact. Is this a photographic print of the scene of the crime, counsel? Indeed. Indeed. Of the table at which the victim was dining, taken by an investigator immediately after the incident. As can plainly be seen, there is only one place set. Certainly, based on the appearance of this print, it would be reasonable to conclude that the victim was not in the company of anyone else. It took you 5.5 hours. Oh, for the first case. Wow. Crazy. I'm used to the first Ace Attorney cases being pretty short compared to the rest of them. So that's good to know. This doesn't make any sense. The court will add this new photographic evidence to the record. Photographic print of the crime scene has been entered into the court record. I don't understand. What's going on here? It's just not possible that nobody else saw that woman. The waiter before said the same thing. He maintains that Dr. Wilson came to the restaurant alone as well. But that's not true. I saw her. I swear that I saw a woman with her. It would seem that we'll be able to telegraph the report to Great Britain on time after all. The witness testimonies we have just heard leave no further room for doubt. These are very sensitive political times, as we all know. The ink is still fresh on the treaty with Great Britain. To think that I, Takatsuchi Oji, will have contributed to the amity of these two great empires is an honor. How can this be happening? The judge is ready to rule. Stand tall, Ryunosuke. It's not over yet. What? What you say is true, then there's something going on here behind the scenes. And now is your chance to expose it, to draw out the truth in your cross-examination. I don't know, Kazuma. The defense is entitled to cross-examine the witnesses, but make it quick. Understood? Rules can be so unbending at times. Alright. So even what I saw was in the precise moments, almost the same thing. Pointing his gun at the foreign man, he was let in. Hold on. You weren't paying attention to that.
Yes!
Yes, it may be true that I was holding the gun at that point in time. But I've told you already, that's only because I picked it up off the floor. Well, obviously as the culprit, that's the only way you could explain it away. I'd just finished drinking my coffee and I was about to leave the restaurant when... I noticed a gun on the floor at Dr. Wilson's feet, so I picked it up. And at exactly that moment... Bang. A gunshot rang in my ears. Both events have been under our control, like is? Sorry? What do you mean? In your case, you found a pistol on the floor and picked it up, which precipitated this testing predicament. Whereas, conversely, I failed to pick up the cabane from the floor and find myself in an equally testing predicament as a result. Anyway, the fact remains, myself, I did see you, with pistol in hand, standing over the foreigner. Oh, actually, it's now letting us go back and forth. Okay. Lone Englishman dining all by himself. Oh, I need to see something. Look at this. Examine space. Wait a second. Let me get a magnifying glass. Stay there. Oh, I can't tell. This is zoomed in. Yeah, that looks fine. Wait. Need to press more, I think. Oops. No, go back. Back. There we go. Therefore, no one other than the Black Uniform Cadet could have dispatched the ministry. Over. Oh. But I hit back, not forward. Okay, fine. What do you think, Ryunosuke? Oh. What's the matter? I can't find anything. I can't find a clear discrepancy anywhere. I'm done for. I can't win this trial. No. Listen, the first thing to do is calm down. You can't expect witness statements to be full of holes every time. So just take your time and try to tease more information out of them first. What do you mean? You can choose to either press or present against each of the witnesses' statements. If a witness is saying something you're suspicious about, press them on it with you. With a little luck, you may get more details which could prove to be crucial. Right, I see. The important point is, there's no sense in holding back. If anything even slightly jars with you, press the witnesses on it, and press them hard. Alright, got it. I'll press them like blocks of tofu. The professor wasn't alone in the restaurant, I'm sure of it. One way or another, this cross-examination is going to prove I'm right. Good case for control. Yeah, so far it is. When in doubt, present your badge, right? There better be a point where I present the badge. It's an Ace Attorney tradition. Just randomly badge. Let's see, price was almost the same thing. I'm gonna press that one.
Yes!
No, it's not the same thing at all. For a start, I didn't fire that gun. We have a difference of opinion on that. The opinion of a uniformed officer versus that of a fledgling cadet. I don't think so. Consider this, defendant. Just a moment ago, I blinked. Did you? Did you see it? Did you see me blink? How could I? And yet, it is an undeniable fact that I did blink. So there you have it. Have what? Tension! The sound of the firearm rang in my ears, and in the very next moment, I saw you waving the gun at the Englishman. I think that says it all, don't you? And let us not forget that the antiques dealer witnessed the accused in this most incriminating position as well. Isn't that so, Kurikuta-san? Or Kurikuta-san? Let's see. As pointing his gun at the foreign man he was, that young lad in black. What looks like this. Or a virtual search of presence with a relying personal presence. We'll press that.
Yes!
You must have noticed someone else at Dr. Wilson's table. There was a lady there.
Objection!
As you have been at pains to point out time and time again, I feel I'm growing a callus in my ear. And yet, no one else appears to have caught even a glimpse of this woman. If only there had been more people dining there at the time, and someone else would have noticed her. Unfortunately, it was already past 2 p.m. when it happened. The quiet time between lunch and dinner in any restaurant. I know, of course the place is almost empty. What you'd expect. Certainly, 2 p.m. is neither here nor there in terms of a time to eat. I wonder if there was a reason why the victim was eating at that time of day, and why he was alone. Yes, Your Excellency, there was indeed a reason. There was? This was found in the victim's jacket pocket. What is that, Counsel? It is a medical report card, Your Excellency. It would seem that the victim had an appointment at a clinic prior to visiting the restaurant. Volta Clinic? Yes, there would indeed appear to be an entry for the date in question. 19th November, noon to past 1 p.m. Very day of the incident. So, the victim went for a late lunch following his appointment. The explanation couldn't be more simple. The prosecution felt no need to submit this evidence before, as it really has no bearing on the case. I wonder... What do you think, Ryunosuke? Well, it is hard to see how it could be related, really. Remember, you can request for it to be entered into the court record as evidence if you think it could be useful. Did I ask for Dr. Wilson's medical report card? Should we submit it as evidence? Yes.
Yes!
Hang at the hand raise. If I may, I'd like to ask for that medical report card to be submitted as evidence, Your Excellency. On what grounds? The court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence would be extra nice. Not to mention that the victim's movements prior to his arrival at the restaurant are of no concern.
Objection!
Whether or not they are of concern is up to us to decide. We have a right to explore all possible evidence. Oh, that little lip twitch. I beg your pardon? You have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request for the submission of evidence. Very, very well. The court will grant the defense's request. Since youngsters these days are forever asserting their rights, it's a most disturbing trend. Officer, kindly add the victim's medical report card to the court record. Victim's medical report card has been entered into the court record. What we read right now is clues. We have to explore things from every possible angle, even if they don't seem relevant at first. Right, I hear you. You can conspire to prolong this trial as much as you like, but it's the day after the festival already for you. Or perhaps you've forgotten that these witness testimonies leave no room for doubt. Feel free to reiterate for the accused, Kurikuta-san. He alone he was. Hold on, I need to look at this medical report card. Oh, can I look at this? Yeah, I wanna examine this. There's something on the back I want to see. Let me see. Fine. You guys are just talking about the rights to speech. It's unbelievable. What next? From dispatching this over and out.
Yes!
We'll press. It's probably one of those points we need to press something. Are you telling me? What? What did you say, Cadet? I clearly remember. There was a woman sitting across the table from the professor. Perhaps one of you might not have noticed. But for both of you to have failed to see the professor's dining companion, it's just not possible. Oh, they're both looking away from each other. Interesting. Unfortunately for you, Defendant Naruhodo, it's not just a case of these two witnesses alone. Sorry? The waiter, whose testimony the court heard earlier, clearly stated the same thing. He also said that the victim was alone. That's right. Precisely. In other words, you are the sole proponent of this phantom lady. But if such a woman were indeed present at the scene, the prosecution demands to see proof. And if no such proof exists, the prosecution demands that no further mention of this phantom woman be made. It is a blatant waste of the court's time. There's nothing I can say to that. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. We gleaned some new information now. Well, yes, but I don't feel like it changes much. I can't see that it brings any real discrepancies to light. I wouldn't be so sure. You see that medical report card you got before? Oh, you mean this? Yes, this is a brand new piece of evidence. So perhaps we should examine it in a little more detail. How exactly? You'll notice that some pieces of evidence bear a magnifying glass, but it didn't have that before. God dang it. These are the ones we examine. Press space and you can take a closer look. Left, right, up, down. Oh! Okay. That's how we turn things. Ah! I see. Pause. Oh, okay. You can move the crosshairs around to hunt for clues that may have been missed before. Yeah, I want to look at the back of the business card. I didn't realize that the arrow keys were used. If the crosshairs start to pulsate, press space to investigate further. So, partner, I think you should take a closer look at this medical report card. See if there isn't something new to be learned by examining it in more detail. Alright, I'll see what I can do. You need to use Okay. So... Mr. John Wilson, Potter Clinic. It says Potter Clinic on this medical report card. I hate clinics, almost as much as I hate hospitals and surgeries. Aren't they all the same? When I was 5, I caught the only cold I'd ever had in my life. And I remember, even though I felt awful already, I had to have this hideous injection in my right arm. Ugh. I'll never forget it. Never in my whole life. Most people would give their right arm to have only one cold in their whole life. Anyway, I don't think this is a clinic where they treat people for illnesses like that. Let's keep looking for clues. You don't want to miss anything. Dentist. Oh, the dentist. This is dentist. Record number. It looks like this medical report card was at first issued quite some time ago. It's probably a record of long-term treatment, that's why. With a family doctor, I imagine. Well, I can't imagine going to a doctor, I mean. As long as I'm alive, I'm never consulting one. Well, if you were dead, there'd be no point. So, you don't like doctors then? Why would you? They make you drink horrible-tasting medicine, they give you painful injections, and then they demand lots of money from you for the privilege. All when you're at your lowest ebb. You sound like a model patient. With a bad case of stubbornness, no less, for which the only cure is very bitter medicine indeed. Also, once this case is over, the second is literally just a tutorial. Really? Interesting. Let's have a look. This is some kind of medical history. Ah, and there's an entry for the day the professor was killed. Extraction of molar with topical anesthesia. Extraction of molar? You mean he had a tooth taken out? It would seem so. Just before the incident, he'd had a bad tooth removed. Perhaps they used laughing gas. That's the most modern practice in the West for pain relief. Yes, I've heard of this anesthesia. Although it's hard to believe there's anything that can actually stop you feeling pain. Ah, there's a cautionary note from the medical practitioner as well. Strictly no food or drink besides water for 3 hours post-procedure, until anesthetic effects have passed. Ooh, really? Sounds like information worth bearing in mind. Medical report card's information has been updated in the court record. Laughing gas isn't topical, is it? No, I don't think so. Huh. With this new information, the meaning of that one particular statement totally changes. Yeah, it's a topic. So I think it's time you listen to the testimony again, don't you? Definitely. What I saw wasn't the precise moment, so it's almost the same thing. Look at the foreign man, he was the young lad in black. Visual searching process at the time confirmed we were the only personnel present. And dining all by himself. I think it's this one.
Yes!
Music stop is usually... I got it right. From my memory. Well, I think, what are you wittering, lad? Call yourself a lawyer? I wish I could, but first and foremost here, I'm the accused. Ryunosuke, everyone stumbles on their words occasionally. Under the circumstances, I wouldn't worry about it. Thanks, Kazuma. I could see it quite clearly in that cross-examination you just carried out. When you raised your hand straight up like that, so purposefully, you knew exactly what it was you wanted to say. Don't feel like you have to choose your words carefully. Just say what you're thinking. Alright, and thanks for the advice. Kuda-san, this is the medical report card belonging to the victim. I see, and I don't see. What of it, boy? Comparing what is written on this report card with your witness statement... I think the slaps are getting slightly louder. I think the claps are actually getting a bit louder. So he's getting confidence in this. But it's still amusing to me. Something clearly doesn't add up.
Objection!
Dear me, dear me. Have you forgotten my word so soon, you amateur? Sorry, what? You are not to interrupt court proceedings with your amateurish drivel. But let's see if I can explain in words you might understand. It was after 2 p.m. in the afternoon when the victim was murdered at the restaurant. Whatever he may or may not have done before that time is completely irrelevant. But that's, Remember, Ryunosuke, you don't have to use clever language or fancy words. Just make your point. Your Excellency, I believe we're finished here. There is surely no need to prolong this trial further. The witness testimonies the court has heard have been clear and concise. This medical report card has no bearing on the matter at all, for the simple reason that there is no one else besides this pale-faced pupil who could have... Oh! There we go. There we go. This medical report card has nothing to do with the case? Do you really believe that? What? That outburst half petrified me, boy. Of course I believe it. How could it possibly be relevant? Perhaps because Hoto Clinic, which issued the report card, is a dental clinic. A dental clinic? Is that supposed to mean something to me? Perhaps if I told you that the victim had just had a tooth extracted? What's this now? And furthermore, if I told you that as a result, the victim had been forbidden from eating... Just what are you trying to say, Cadet? He had orders not to eat? So what? It's all written up in here. No food or drink other than water for 3 hours, post-procedure while anesthesia wears off. What? No, that can't. Furukuta-san. What, boy? What? As you just heard, when he was killed sometime shortly after 2 p.m., the victim couldn't have been eating anything at all. No. Additionally, there's more? You have assured the court with unwavering self-confidence that the victim was dining alone. But that cannot be possibly be the case. Because the victim, as we now know, had just had one of his teeth extracted and was still experiencing the effects of the anesthetic. Ah. Expertly done, partner. Only 3 hours? Yeah. What is this nonsense, you little upstart? These are baseless accusations. Just look at this photographic evidence. You can clearly see the plate of food at the victim's table.
Objection!
Use your head. That's the very discrepancy we're talking about. Or can't you follow the logic? How dare you? I think it's fair to say that the tables in this restaurant case have turned. Wouldn't you agree, Ryunosuke? Yes, most definitely. So, having just undergone some dental surgery, the victim was unable to eat. Which leaves one very crucial conundrum. Who, in fact, was eating the pictured beef steak? The court will hear the opinion of the defense on this new puzzle. I assume you're ready, counsel. Counsel? Oh, that means me, doesn't it? Alright, the answer to this question is going to be pivotal. This is the start of you turning this trial around. Show them what you're made of. Got it, okay, hold on. Hold on. Save, there we go. Okay, it does have an autosave. But we're gonna save there as well. Alright. Person eating steak, the victim's table was as an unknown yet unknown third party. Turnabout, this is actually America. Obviously, it can only have been someone else who was sitting at the professor's table.
Objection!
You will not let this go, will you? There was no such person.
Yes!
There was, because I saw it. When the incident occurred, we know that the victim couldn't have been eating anything, yet we have evidence of a half-eaten steak on his table. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that there was somebody else there eating it. We have strong evidence to support our assertion. It's clear that these witness testimonies are unreliable. If the court decides to push through a ruling at this stage, we will lodge a formal complaint with the Ministry of Justice and pursue a fair retrial relentlessly. Hazuma, are you insane? You would take on the government? Don't worry, Counsel. I have no issue with you. What do you mean? I have issue with them. Those two witnesses on the stand. What? What are you talking about? We have demonstrated with evidence that the victim was not alone. So, if it now turns that the two of you deliberately lied when giving your testimonies, obviously you will be charged with perjury. Perjury? And since this is a murder trial, you will also be deemed complicit in the killing. Complicit? In murder? No! Negative! There was no mention of this at the tactical meeting. I was just following orders. That's right. As the man says, just say you never saw the gentlewoman. That's what they, told us. Oops. Oh. What? What did you just say, Kuroku-san? Oh, no. You were just following orders? Now, hold on, lad. I was just, say you never saw the gentlewoman? When you say gentlewoman, do you mean you saw the victim with a lady from overseas? What?
Objection!
What is the meaning of all this? These witnesses gave false statements? Is that true, you pair? On how the first game's perjury basically didn't exist. Yeah, in the first game, perjury just does. Yeah, the first game, there wasn't really perjury for lying. A lot of the later games didn't either. I think it comes up, it does come up at some point, but not as much in the first and second game from my memory. It wasn't until maybe Trials and Tribulations, or maybe the Miles Edgeworth cases, that it became like an actual point. But it's been years since I played any of those, so I don't quite remember. I never got around to playing the more recent ports of it. I witnessed live 37 times in a row, yeah. Just one simple slip of the tongue. Order. Counsel, explain what is going on here. It's painfully clear now you tried to prevent these witnesses from telling the truth. Absolutely not. The prosecution knows nothing of this. Aww, the slaps got quiet again. Then who's behind this? Who tried to make you keep your mouth shut? Well, that's classified. So you're prepared to be tried as conspirator to this murder, are you? Oh god, ow! You wouldn't. This can't be happening. Ryunosuke, judging from the way they're reacting to this, I'd say they were sworn to silence by someone with considerable influence. However, I don't believe Auchi had any idea about it. What are you saying? I mean, to wield that kind of influence, there are only a handful of possibilities. It can only have been the government, the military, or the police, I suppose. Well, any ideas about who it might be behind this? If we can affirm who tried to silence these witnesses, then we can continue our pursuit. So we needed to name whoever it was that tried to make the witnesses keep their mouths shut. Of course, we need evidence before we make any firm accusations. Evidence that proves whoever it was really did wield his or her power here. But how? How can we possibly remember how we made progress before? Before? We examined this piece of evidence in more detail and found a new clue as a result. But yes, that's right. Well, that's not the only piece of evidence we have, is it? We need to re-examine everything and make sure there's nothing we have missed. Alright. Ships are back. The flaps are back, yeah. Alright, but I find this is actually a good point to stop for the day. I'm a little bit over time. I actually made it to 4 hours without my headache ramping back up, which is actually really good. So let me hit save. I'll also leave it on a line for when we resume Friday to remind me of what we're doing. So we're gonna save it here. Gonna pop that over there. All right, saved. All good. Then I'm gonna pop this over here. Boop. We're gonna leave the game running in the background for a little background suspenseful music for the end of the stream. Thank you everybody for tuning in and hanging out. We actually made a full out 4 hours. Oh god. Everything's dark now. Oh. God dang it. Okay, Box, you can go away now. Box, please. Anyways, there we go. Thank you again for tuning in and hanging out while we finished up Chicory, which, amazing game. God, I really wished I knew that when it was being kickstarted, because I really would have backed that. That was a fantastic game. Then we started up our new story that we're going to be running for with a couple weeks of Ace Attorney Chronicles. The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Let's see. Where's my tabs? There it is. I will be streaming again tomorrow. I will probably... may or may not be doing Hunt Showdown tomorrow like usual. My hunt buddies are going to be late because they have appointments that they have to tend to first. So they might be late, but I might be streaming early tomorrow, early-ish, because a very long anticipated game is coming out, Starbase, and I really am looking forward to that. So it'll most likely be a bunch of chill, a lot of chill building ships, mining asteroids, just chill, quiet stuff, or chill times with some kind of music. I find royalty free, of course. After that will be Hunt Showdown if my friends have time. Otherwise, we'll be back Friday for more Ace Attorney Chronicles. For the new folks that have shown up, I know there's a couple of you, and I think you're still around. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, starting at 2 p.m. Central. Usually go 3 to 4 hours. I've been a bit less past couple weeks because I have a chronic headache issue, which hopefully will be chilled out Friday, because I start getting new medications Friday for it. So hopefully I'll be returning to my usual 3 to 4 hour streams. I also stream most Thursdays if my Hunt Showdown friends are around. Those times vary on when they're available, so usually around 2 p.m. as well. We'll be continuing, but Monday, Wednesday, and Friday we'll be continuing Ace Attorney. We'll be doing Totally Accurate Battlegrounds. We'll be doing I'm not sure what else. Subspace. Or wow, my brain just stopped. Starbase. Sorry. I was thinking of really old 2D space game. Suddenly, I was just reminded of it, which was really cool, and I think it's back on Steam. But anyways, I'm just rambling at this point. Let me pull up my browser and see who's around that I can send all you fine folk to. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, I'm gonna send you all over to Valiant, who is in VR chat right now. Good timing. Twitch, can you actually mute the tab? There we go. Yeah, I'll send y'all over to Valiant. Valiant is an awesome beat. An awesome friend. Need to play more soccer and Continuum Subspace. Yeah, that was fun. Continuum. That's the other name I was thinking of it. Thank you. But yeah, we get this set up. They are hanging out on VR chat right now. Oh, Hero. Time to watch this and see if I want to get it. You're a little late, Hero. I'm just ending. I'm a little over my time. I still gotta cook dinner for the house. Quick. 5 minutes go. So far, it's really, really good. It's great so far. Yeah. Anyways, sending y'all over to Valiant. I will be back on tomorrow for at least Starbase, if not Hunt Showdown as well. I'm hoping to fix the Hunt Showdown stutters, but I have no hopes because it's the Crytek engine and it's a mess. It's a fantastic looking mess, but it's still a mess. Anyways, I'm gonna let y'all go send hugs and squeaks to Val. I still haven't set up a raid message thingy. I keep meaning to. Sorry. Anyways, y'all take care now. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and I will see you all when I see you. Bye now. Bye.